Tuesday 1165, the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Next month's upcoming share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Please call me directly. Very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing You're There, Siman Kuf Yud Daled, Sif Hey to Yud Beis. Hey, the neighbor pastor, he's cute about Mavashim Chasnus. Lo beer miuma. They ain't so beer. Bread, which is because of intermarriage. It's not explained to him because it doesn't have to be explained. Because Chazal Batzmam, Chazal already explained this themselves. Perkan to Shabbos and first parak of Shabbos. One of the 18 Xeros, the Omer Sham goes on Peter Mishum Shimnon. They have decreed their bread against the bread on account of their wine, Mishimnon Yishmiyim, and the bread on account of the oil, the Shimon Mishimiyim, and the oil on account of their wine. And the wine on account of their daughters. It's here, but it's talking about drinking together with the non-Jews. Pirish Rashi of the Chacham Mishnah make parties by the non-Jews. And wanted to marry his daughter. Why? What is this extended elaboration by Rashi? The primary aspect of the matter is the whole point of the rabbis is to distance us from their daughters, which is the marriage issue, the anti-marriage issue. There was a which comes through parties made together. But without eating and drinking, it's nothing. Like it says, including that that to seduce somebody, do something illicit, requires eating and drinking. So they have to totally ban their bread and their cooking. You can't, otherwise, so the non-Jew will make kosher food by him, and they'll eat together as a group, with many people. And this way they'll come into marriage. They also have to absolutely forbid wine. Because wine gladdens hearts of people. Because they know somebody puts his eye into his cup. The entire world seems to him like a smooth, in other words, unimpeded rump of decadence and debauchery. Is that a nice translation? After you also even if they forbade eating, drinking in of itself has the power to draw the hearts nigh. Like it says only kings don't normally drink without eating. But the regular people, they go to the bar and they have something to drink, even they have nothing to eat. That's that they completely forbid wine. There's no eating and drinking. There's no parties. Should not become habituated to make parties. So the whole issue here in drinking together is because of the parties and the drinking parties together. Mesibos is the reason why the bread and the cooking is also, and the mishtos is the reason why the drinking of intoxicating beverages together is also. Since in Eretz Yisrael the main the beverage was wine. It used to be Shabbos. It's Shabbos which goes to the face of Shabbos. It says in Shabbos, Zayin b'zel Shem Shalom Rov Yain and much wine. But you shall see Mahakol Yain. Everybody drank wine. Chulei Akal Shalom. Have a sheikhol loyam. On the contrary, beer was not prevalent then. Sheikhol Shalom Hayaniko Etzem Sheikhol Hamadi. Barley beer, which is of course our beer, was called median beer, which obviously was going to be much more prevalent above in Eretz Yisrael. Kanvor Reish Pesachim, Perek Pesachim. To explain the beginning of the third Perek Pesachim, but Eretz Yisrael loya matzui. And so there wasn't much median beer. Even date beer, lo haya matzula, was not so prevalent by them. They repudiated beer and other types of intoxicating beverages. And they did not permit Eretz Yisrael make Kiddush and Abdullah on it. It says in Daf Kuzayin, the Rebbe Chil lo itil Rab. They didn't allow Rab to make Kiddush Abdullah on Chemor Medina. So they were not concerned to make a decree on beer. But above the lots of dates for you and there are many beer makers. That's clear in the Gemara. And it says the tamre. They brought him a measure of dates. He said, "Kama." He said, "How wonderful, how amazing this country is. They have such fantastic fruit. They surely are going to be have lots of time to learn Torah." And then at night, he had a problem with the loosening of the stool, effect of the dates, and he said it's shocked that anybody learns Torah because they have to spend a lot of time attending to their needs. Anyway, so they allow making Abdullah on beer because it is the beverage of the country. As is clarified in Psachim. In brackets, he says here, sharp with this we understand well. Malisa Sham, that which it says there, the Rabuna Ashkach L'Rav Davakodesh Yishikra, Puna Farab make being Kiddush on beer. Kashaba Rebbe Lo Yitir Lo. We didn't let him do that. Sakin says in Psachim. So in the same place. So that's the case. How can you possibly do it? But you get in Bavel, where the situation of Eretz Yisrael, their beer was okay. I guess Rav came from Bavel, so he came there. So he wanted to still use beer. Their Rebbe and Rebbe Chiz said no. And then when he went back to Bavel, then he was able to use beer again. We're back out of the brackets now. So in Chutzlart, they had to make the decree also by beer. But they didn't make the same gzera like on wine, which made obviously also to drink. Because beer does not have the quality of wine to make people's hearts glad. And having also wine, when you have a lot, you drink more and more. That's supposed to beer, where, okay, it's only. Since furthermore, since the Tanoim did not make such a gzera, lower two lashvos because there are some gzeras coming. They didn't want to equate their gzera to the gzera of the ancients. They only made a fence on account of the main reason. Based on that they shouldn't have parties in their houses. And to drink together, they assered it in their houses. So he buys but out in the house of non-Jews, but outside the house they permitted it. They weren't concerned, okay, they'll come to the Jewish houses to drink together, not a big deal. The Mistam base Yisrael, I have a Ram Sima Yisrael, because we assume that in a Jewish house, most of the people at the party are Jewish. And the majority will not be drawn after the minority, meaning the Jews won't be drawn after the non-Jew. Mashiach be based on themselves in their houses. They're the majority. But most times, so Rashi is meticulous to say that this is only by beer and nothing else, because this difference between house and house, whose house it is, and let me start majorities, is only by beer, wine is also no matter what. Zion, fees the divya Rama Bruin Betama. This is what the Rambam writes is very clear. The Fisha since he had to explain all these zeros, and they're not comparable to each other. First, he brought that preface, the reason. Main reasons this is not comes into marriage. And into marriage comes about by parties together. They should see about it even by drinking alone. Here's Rashi. So the bread and the cookery, the cook dishes, they asked completely. And beer they asked in the non-Jew's house. But the reason, since the primary issue is not to drink in a party together, it suffices to ask the beer when you drink in their houses specifically. That's what you lose. If you brought the beer home, you're allowed to drink it, even if it came from a non-Jew. So the whole primary aspect of the Xer is maybe you'll come to eat by the non-Jew. Klomar meaning shlo yochlu v'lo yishtu yachad misibachas. You don't want them to eat and drink in one misiba, certainly not on the turf of the non-Jew. Ches. Ve'en l'sholken askati mamoel. What good does it do for us? Ha'yesh l'chus shem yivakshu Yisrael sh'aset tzlam acholim. Maybe the non-Jew can ask the Jew to come in and make the food, the caterer. And he's going to bring his wine into the house of the non-Jews. So Yachad can make a party together. This is understood. This is going to cause a distancing. If a Jew comes to the house and asks for an airline meal. Even though he did Bakashas, he still has to ask for his own airline meal. It says, in terms of Yoshav and Achab, love and Mafli and Abshem. The reason why Yoshav and Achab got close is because they distanced themselves from each other. The dove is the Ev Charlios. Now, this thing, which is that they're going to come together and provide us with kosher food, and therefore going to have partying together. This is only Rak Beisho said Mishnani. Soon with no veto. This is only when non-Jew is making a party for the marriage of his son or daughter. So Shalami Soli Smuklimo, and he wants the Jews to rejoice with him. Mukhul Esos Kain, he has to make kosher food. Chem Hamas Gavna's room. And therefore in that case they ask her not eating. As long as the food is kosher, but they're drinking. So the food is also stumped back the Arukh HaShulchan talking about a case where the lule the gzeira bishul akum. So then you would be able to eat in his house. The only thing you would not be allowed to drink the wine. But that's why they answered drinking the beer together, even any alcoholic beverage, and that will prevent that kiyuv levavos. Test. Rashi was out because of Torah. Rashi writes the sheikh loving the beer is not usher intoxicating beverages other than wine are not usher from a decree elamina kedoshim. It's a holy custom, the custom of the holy people. That's only Musibasan, who accustomed themselves to distance themselves from their parties. Therefore, they only machmir in the house of the non-Jew. I call Paskin Mash with the Chachmei Gemara because it's B'Sheva. But the Rashi, notwithstanding, from all the Chachmei Gemara, seems that they, back in the time of the Shas, is when they decreed against intoxicating beverages other than wine. Chemasha to Rosh seems to be opinion to the Rosh as well. Rova Paskin must have Paskin. It seems that the Rashi is compelled to say this. Locain, because if not, Lama Yesh Hefresh Ben Shevach the same. Why is beer unique in distinction between your house and their house, and why is it different than any other prohibitions? According to what I said, it works out well because one is to prevent misibos, the other is to prevent mishtos. In practice, there's no actual ramification because it's also like the Rashbas, whoever the Gzeira originated, the Gzeira is still intact today. It's in the brackets, Ayin Taz, Sip on the base, Taz obviously gives other reasons for the Gzeira. Yud Vinei, Torah Shulchan Aruch, Kosu Gankin, B'Loshan Rambam, so shut up. The Torah Shulchan Aruch followed the Rambam suit. Kol Shechah Shekutim, any intoxicating beverage of a non-Jew, whether it's date beer, or fig beer, Oshel Sorim or barley beer, Oshel Tvor or produce beer, Oshel Vash or honey beer, Asim Jum Chasus. It's also because of Chasus. Now, obviously, I use the word beer, but that's a mistake. Let me rephrase that. Obviously, it was a mistake for me to use the word beer. Because when it says Shel Sorim, that's talking about whiskey made out of barley. Or Tvor is other whiskey made out of other crops. The Vash of honey is also a honey liqueur. So all these are shumchasis. And also malcolm chilas, in the place where it's sold, meaning at a bar. It may be a sheikh lebeza, but if you brought the intoxicating beverage to your house, so say sham, and then you brought drink, and that's okay. Also, you only ask it when you set yourself up to drink. Like people set themselves up to drink. But if you go into the non-Jew's house, even in his house, and you drink just as an occasional thing and not as a consistent thing, not nor in a permanent manner, mutar it's permissible. So if you're sleeping in the non-Jew's house, it's considered like the house of the non-Jew, and you should avoid drinking in his company there. And now you're allowed to send somebody out in the city to buy intoxicating beverages from a non-Jew, a kanashano. All this is because of the the whole decree was against drinking in a drinking party, which is like we explained. Those who allow produce alcohol and money alcohol. And this is the custom in these countries that Kalashana. The Mammoth Sudan Rishona explains Arukh HaShulchan. According to the first opinion, there's some sort of prohibition by all sorts of beverages to drink in a gathering. We never people are concerned with this. So some of the ancients said that the decree was only by date beer. Not by honey liquor, honey made. So by us also where the whiskey is the primary drink of choice, there's no concern with it. Mordechai writes, our drinking of these intoxicating beverages doesn't create so much conviviality. Good translation, right? The sheikh the date beer, which I had once. Coach Pesach date beer. For me, it tasted horrible. But here it says a significant drink for local and not our intoxicating beverages. These are kavcham yashu mashke pshutamot. Arukh HaShulchan lived in the era before single malt scotches and artisanal tequila, whatever they call it. So it says, it's a very simple drink, so it has no draw. It's also honey liquor. People don't get so close. Should say this as far as the Rashba. If we join this, the Rashba which you saw a few moments ago. Even on date beer, there was never Xera. According to this, there's no problem in any beverage besides wine. Rum, porter, the cognac, even there are some significant beverages which are of the whiskey line. The and these are some of these conviviality. These are not prevalent because they're so expensive. It's like apple wine and pomegranate wine. They make a decree against it because they are so expensive and perhaps not widely spread, not prevalent. So all these things, it's not relevant. It's not possible to stumble into their parties. Some of these because they're too low. That's because they are too high and therefore not prevalent. You should know. The sheikhar. Even if a intoxicating beverage is cooked, and other beverages which are cooked, there is no problem of bishulakum. Because the beer is nullified by the water. Place where the Jews are too mako, they're too lenient about yain akum. They're machmir also on sheikhar. And sources from the Rashi which you mentioned about being a minhag. And it's inferred from the case of Gemara. Somebody came to see where they're not concerned with non-Jews touching wine. He didn't want to drink from a Jew, not wine nor beer, in order that he shouldn't come to drink beer. But that is evidently not something which has to do with the yeah, it's nothing to do with drinking beer of non-Jews. But nevertheless, Tun Shulchan say you're not supposed to drink that at all. After if he's Rif for Rambam Barosh, Shishmitu Zelgamet, they excluded this whole prohibition. Maybe this is what's up for this is to Baal Nefesh. Not every person has to do that. You can't ask us Melissa, so how do they just write simplistically that's us? And also some say the Zel Rak Makom Shemakil is only places where they lean. Ava Makom Shabanasena Harabim, places in our great iniquity. Shat Nefesh with deliberate abandon. Naslam Keheter has become with them a license to then you're allowed to drink beer there. So be cool. So according to the real reasoning of the Ramah, the Al Sheikh Shon Loka Zukla that they never made exer on our intoxicating beverages. So it's definitely not it's not a problem of right, it's not about but they didn't answer the other intoxicating beverages. Okay, he says, well, I say in the brackets, which you don't have to see for now, we'll stop here.